Welcome to Fox 54 News at 6. I'm Kenesha Dees. Huntsville High School honoring Ellie Anderson tonight. A special celebration after her family's flight went down in Montana last Friday afternoon. The community showing their support with a vigil and GoFundMe for the family and supporting each other while they mourn the loss of one of their own. Now, flight data shows the Piper Aztec aircraft carrying Mark Anderson and his daughters Lainey and Ellie took off from Billings, Montana Friday afternoon, heading to Polson. For most of the flight, everything appeared normal with the plane flying above 12,000 feet, but around 4:15 p.m. it made a sudden sharp turn before disappearing from radar. Search teams found the wreckage the next morning in a remote area of the Bob Marshall Wilderness. All three were pronounced dead at the scene. There's been an outpouring of support for the Anderson family after their flight went down 1 week ago today, and tonight's homecoming game is all about remembering Ellie Anderson. She was described by friends and family as a joy to be around, a best friend, and a light. So much so that the Huntsville High School community showed up in thousands for a prayer vigil Saturday night. Now, nearly a week later, they're still remembering Ellie and her family during homecoming. Most school activities were canceled this week, but they plan to honor Ellie at tonight's game. Take a listen.
There's been a lot of mourning, but everyone's been, supporting each other, lifting each other up. We've all been there for each other. It's been really great. Obviously, it's sad, but having a community like this helps tremendously. We're going to take a moment of silence. We're wearing pink because that was our favorite color. And then we got stickers because our other favorite color was yellow. We got stickers that say with a little yellow heart on it for our helmets.
Yeah, so much support while the Huntsville High School community continues to grieve. Many are saying it's important that they all come together for the Anderson family. A sign-up genius has been created where people can volunteer for hour-long prayer shifts covering the Anderson family. There's also a GoFundMe page that's raised close to $200,000. You can find the link to the GoFundMe on FOX54.com. And here's a live look over in Waterloo. You can see that sun beginning to really set there. More of that cloud cover starting to turn dark as the days get shorter. A nice night so far, though. Lots of fall activities happening this evening, including Friday night football. Let's bring in Fox 54 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman for a look at the forecast.
It's going to be a fantastic evening for Friday night football across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee, though. As you get ready to head out the door for the evening, maybe grab a jacket. I think you're going to find that as we head into the later part of the evening, it's going to become just a touch on the chilly end of the spectrum. I also think you're going to notice a slight increase in cloud cover. Here we are, 62 at 7 o'clock, 57 by 8, 55 degrees by the time we get to 9. As we head into the later part of the evening, temperatures are beginning to fall into the lower 50s, 54 degrees by the time we get to 10 p.m. So again, I think some sort of a jacket, some sort of a sweatshirt, definitely going to be necessary if you're going to be venturing out to your favorite high school football game this evening. As we head into the overnight, temperatures are a little warmer tonight compared to what we've seen over the last couple of nights. We're only going to drop into the mid and upper 40s thanks to the increase in cloud cover across the Tennessee Valley. Now, let's begin to talk about the weekend. We're focused on this area of low pressure here. That area of low pressure is going to bring a lot of rain into the Tennessee Valley, but the entire weekend's not going to be a complete washout, just part of the weekend. We'll talk about that in great detail here in just a few minutes.
We've learned a Priceville police officer at the center of a controversial pursuit case is once again taking legal action against the city. Officer Gary Chapman is challenging a 10-day suspension he received when the city council overturned his termination earlier this month. Chapman was initially fired after a September police pursuit ended in a deadly crash that killed Hartselle High School student Tristan Hollis and injured 5 others. His attorney, Scott Morrow, argues the council's decision was, quote, arbitrary and not supported by evidence.
Chapman does not believe that he should have been disciplined at all. So we filed a notice of appeal with the Circuit Court of Morgan County. His suspension started last week, but he'll be back after those 10, 12-hour shift suspensions. And then he'll start getting paid again. And we're going to be asking the Circuit Court to replace those 10, 12-hour shifts and any other benefit he lost as a result of the discipline.
Morrow says the loss of life is priceless, just as the loss of reputation can be. He adds that Chapman plans to seek at least $10 million in damages, but for now, Chapman remains on work probation and must complete retraining before returning to full duty. A Huntsville man will spend the rest of his life behind bars after being convicted of murder. Anthony Shepard was found with multiple gunshot wounds at his home in July of 2020. Investigators say Logan Delp was hired to kill Shepard. to prevent him from regaining custody of his child. The jury deliberated for about 20 minutes before delivering the guilty verdict. 4 more people also face charges. One has pleaded guilty while 3 others are waiting for their own trials. A Decatur man also found guilty of murder today. In 2021, officers responded to reports of a shooting at Decatur Door Services, where they found Frankie Smith with a gunshot wound to the head. Police arrested Spencer Harwell, who was found with a large quantity of meth at his home. Harwell was convicted by a Morgan County jury today. He's scheduled to be sentenced December 16th. A man has been arrested in connection with the stabbing in Limestone County. Yesterday, deputies responded to a 911 call around 2:30 p.m. about a stabbing on the 21,000 block of Yarborough Road in Athens. According to the Limestone County Sheriff's Office, the victim was confronting this man, David Long, about a theft. Long allegedly stabbed the victim and left before being caught by sheriff's deputies. He's behind bars without bond and faces an assault charge, among others. Huntsville police are investigating a shooting near Bronze Spring Park last night. HPD say officers were called around 11:30 to a downtown hotel after a woman's car was hit by gunfire near the 2800 block of Hood Road. The woman not hurt, but officers searched the area and didn't find anything. HPD now investigating, but believe the shooting was an isolated incident. We're learning federal agents say they've now learned a blast that killed 16 people. It was started in a building that held more than 24,000 pounds of explosives. The explosion started on the lower floor of a building that made mining devices, which detonated in seconds. You could see the impact there. That blast shook the ground 60 miles west of Nashville. So far, 14 victims were identified using rapid DNA testing, but 2 remain missing.
It really saddens me that we still have 2 souls that we have not been able to locate at this point. I've talked with both of those families last night and this morning. We still have some testing to do in efforts to get that complete.
It's still unclear what caused the blast, but the company has been fined for safety violations in recent years. The incident remains under investigation. A union representing employees at the Marshall Space Flight Center is filing a lawsuit over collective bargaining rights. An executive order made by President Trump in August excludes NASA and 5 other agencies from federal labor coverage on the grounds of national security. This bars the International Federation of Professional and Technical Engineers from representing more than 6,000 workers, including those at the Marshall Space Flight Center. The lawsuit claims the executive order was issued in retaliation of the union's protected First Amendment activity and criticism of the Trump administration. Election season not quite over yet in Coleman County, as voters are expected to head back to the polls Tuesday. Voters will choose between GOP nominee Cindy Myrex and Democratic nominee Matt Glover for the House District 12 seat, which became vacant after former Representative Corey Harbison resigned back in April. You can find polling locations on our website, FOX54.com. We're learning more about a pickup truck that hit a stopped school bus in Boaz Wednesday, sending 5 people to the hospital. Boaz police say the school bus was stopped when the pickup truck slammed into the back of the bus. Just look at that picture there. Well, police say the truck driver was distracted and didn't see the bus had stopped. No one on the bus was injured, but 5 people in the truck were hurt. All the truck's passengers were taken to Marshall Medical Center South. Their current condition unknown. Several liberal Supreme Court justices condemned the state of Alabama for executing Anthony Boyd using nitrogen gas. Boyd was executed last night for the 1993 murder of a man over a $200 drug debt. However, Boyd maintained his innocence, claiming he was at a party during the alleged murder. Justice Sonia Sotomayor says nitrogen gas causes, quote, psychological terror and, quote, excruciating suffocation, saying that people feel themselves suffocating during the several minutes it can take to die. So far, only Alabama and Louisiana use nitrogen execution by lethal injection, and it's becoming more difficult as many pharmaceutical companies refuse to allow their medications to be used for that purpose. A state representative calling for the firing of a correctional officer involved in multiple lawsuits in Jefferson County. Lieutenant Roderick Gatson is the officer involved in the death of inmate Stephen Davis at Donaldson Prison. The state settled an excessive force lawsuit for $250,000 in 2019. though no criminal charges were filed. The call for Gadsden's firing comes amid the release of the HBO documentary, The Alabama Solution, which exposed the conditions and violence inside Alabama's prisons.
We now need to investigate further. It still needs to be definitively established whether they are genuine or not.
A major illegal art ring uncovered days after high-priced jewels were stolen from the Louvre in Paris. A look at the bust up ahead. City of Athens gearing up for Veterans Day and a parade to go with it. Details on how you can sign up. Just days after a daring daytime heist at the world's most visited museum, police in Europe say they busted an art forgery ring raking in millions of dollars. Fox News Chief Washington correspondent Mike Emanuel has more from Washington.
Just days after a daring daytime heist at the Louvre in Paris, another illegal art ring uncovered in Europe. The bust was made by German police working with their colleagues in other countries. Dozens of forged artworks were recovered, including fake Picassos, Rembrandts, and Rubens. Officials say they're still trying to determine the extent of the criminal network.
We now need to investigate further. It still needs to be definitively established whether they are genuine or not.
The main suspects are a 77-year-old man and his 74-year-old accomplice, both Germans. They allegedly charged both public and private collectors up to $16 million for the fakes. At least one of the paintings ended up hanging in a museum, and police say the buyers should have known the sales were not legitimate.
It was interesting and striking during the sale that these paintings, some of which were offered in the millions, were transported in the trunk of a car.
The forgery bust comes as police across Europe are reporting an uptick in art-related crime. It took thieves just 4 minutes to steal $100 million worth of jewels from the Louvre, prompting museums across the continent to re-examine their security.
This is a wake-up call to museums everywhere in Europe. We have a crime problem here in Europe. They're saying to law enforcement and the museum community that they are not afraid of us.
German police say a total of 11 people are accused of gang-related fraud as part of the forgery ring. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
A lot of trick-or-treat and something sweet to eat for the kiddos this weekend. We've got your lineup of events happening this weekend. In the meantime, we have a look at weather for Friday Night Football.
Slight increase in the amount of cloud cover for Friday Night Football. Otherwise, weather looks fantastic. But what about the weekend? Half of it's going to be great. The other half, not so much. Rain is in the forecast. We'll discuss in just a bit.
It is now day 24 of the government shutdown, and today was the first time federal employees went without receiving a paycheck, one nonprofit looking to help ease some struggles. One Way is hosting a food distribution event for furloughed workers affected by the shutdown. They tell us workers facing food insecurity will be able to pick up boxes of food and essentials. One Way CEO talked about what he's hearing from people his organization serves.
There's a story behind these checks. There's not just that this person missed a check. That person has a name. That person may have a family. They may have a sick relative. They may have a sick child. They may have extenuating circumstances. Yeah, I mean, we just don't know where they're at or what they're going through. There is hope, and this thing is that this is a season. We get to walk through this season with you, and we're going to walk through this season as long as it lasts.
The distribution is tomorrow from 9 to 11 a.m. at the parking lot of the Calhoun Community College Huntsville campus. We're just 1 week away from Halloween, but that isn't stopping the Land Trust of North Alabama from celebrating early with the showing of a spooky classic. Crews set up the screen this afternoon for a showing of Beetlejuice this evening at 3 Caves. And with the government shutdown, furloughed employees had a chance to get free tickets in a move the Land Trust says was the perfect chance to bring people together, saying, quote, knowing that some of our neighbors may be under extra stress right now, we wanted to offer a small gesture that reminds people they're valued and that there are still ways to get outside, relax, and enjoy North Alabama together, end quote. City of Huntsville is moving forward with its long-term plan for the Greenway expansion. City leaders have approved a contract to build 1.5 miles of new trail connecting Green Cove Road and Buxton Road to Hobbs Road and Redstone Road. About $1.5 billion contract was awarded to Grayson Carter and Sun Contracting, Inc. to oversee the construction. The project closes the final gap to create a continuous 15-mile Greenway loop linking the Tennessee River Greenway with the Aldrich Creek Greenway and Weatherly Road.
Now, the Tennessee Valley's certified most accurate forecast from the FOX54 Weather Impact Team.
We had a really nice Friday afternoon across the Tennessee Valley. We got to enjoy plenty of sunshine, slight increase in cloud cover through the later part of the afternoon, and that increase in cloud cover is going to continue as we head into the evening. But all said, it's going to be a wonderful evening for Friday night football. Temperatures are going to begin to drop off, so I do recommend grabbing a jacket, some sort of a sweatshirt as you head out for the evening, because I think by the time we get to the later part of the third quarter into the fourth quarter, it's going to become a little bit chilly. 57 at 8, 55 by 9, 54 degrees by the time we get to 10 p.m. From there, we are going to continue to cool off, but we're going to be warmer tonight compared to what we've seen over the last couple of nights, thanks to the increase in cloud cover. We're dropping into the mid and upper 40s across the Tennessee Valley. Let's look at the weekend. Half of the weekend going to be great. 74 degrees on Saturday, 62 degrees on Sunday. Sunday, not so much. If you have any outdoor plans on Sunday, if you can, just try and move them to Saturday, because at this point it looks like Sunday is going to be a bit of a wash across the Tennessee Valley. So we can kind of take your Saturday afternoon and break it down a little more hourly. Maybe you want to go to a corn maze tomorrow. There's a number of them across the Tennessee Valley. I'm a sucker for a really good corn maze. 69 at the lunch hour, 72 at 1, 73 at 2, and it looks like that's where we're going to finish the day tomorrow afternoon, somewhere right around 72 or 73 degrees. Here's Futurecast, looking regionally as we head into your Sunday afternoon. We're going to be focused on this area of low pressure here and the cold front extending down from this area of low pressure. There is a lot of rain associated with this system. Very little in the way of any sort of thunderstorm activity, but there's a lot of rain associated with this system. And that rain is going to begin to push its way into the Tennessee Valley as we head into the lunch hour on Sunday. So if you're going to be heading out the door for Sunday services, Sunday breakfast, grab a jacket, grab some sort of an umbrella, you're going to need it. And then once the rain gets here just after the lunch hour, it's going to stick with us in some capacity through the rest of the afternoon and then even as we head into the evening. And then not only is it going to stick with us as we head into the evening, but the rain is also going to be around, and it might even get heavier as we head into the overnight and then early into your Monday morning. Just begin to plan now to allow yourself several extra minutes as you head out the door for work on Monday morning, because we're still going to be talking about scattered showers across the Tennessee Valley, and then rain stays in the forecast even as we head into Monday afternoon. And from there, the rain's not really going to leave the Tennessee Valley. Rain chances hang around Tuesday, Wednesday, and then in some capacity as we head into Thursday and Friday of next week. By the time we get to Thursday night, most of us looking at 1 to 2 inches of rain that we could use across the Tennessee Valley. Most of us are talking about abnormally dry conditions as far as a drought monitor is concerned, so we could use a little bit of rain, but we're not necessarily desperate Let's begin to think about Halloween, shall we? It's going to be here before we know it. We're just a week away from Halloween. Halloween on a Friday this year, cloud cover, and we're talking about temperatures in the mid-60s on Halloween. I've got a high right around 64 degrees. Now, it's a bit too far out to begin to give you an hourly forecast, so we'll provide you with that over the next couple of days. Have a good look at the next 7 days. We stick with the 60s, even falling into the 50s next week, 63, 66 Monday and Tuesday, 59, 58 next Wednesday, Thursday, and then 64 degrees on Halloween.
The weekend is here and a lot is happening around the Tennessee Valley over the next few days. First up, Broad Street Church of Christ is hosting a free trunk or treat event tomorrow. The celebration features games, a bounce house, lots of candy, and a Kona ice available for purchase. Trunk or treat is from 5 to 7. The annual Early Works Halloween Bash will offer trick-or-treating throughout the museum today and tomorrow from 3 to 7 p.m. Tickets cost $12 for anyone over the age of 4, while kids 3 and under get in for free. Each family will also get a coupon for 50% off a future visit. And finally, Sand Mountain Amphitheater is hosting a free fall festival tomorrow at 2 p.m. featuring local vendors, entertainment, and family-friendly activities. The first 50 families to arrive will also receive a free gift. And of course, if none of this is your style, check out what else is happening this weekend around the Tennessee Valley at FOX54.com. Registration now open to participate in this year's Athens Limestone Veterans Day Parade. The annual celebration honors those who have served in the U.S. Armed Forces. The annual event draws community members of all ages, offering a chance to show appreciation for veterans and enjoy the patriotic spirit that fills downtown Athens each year. Anyone looking to participate will need to register with AMVETS Alabama Post 21. Nick, what's new with sports?
Kanisha, our first down Friday night game of the week kicks off in less than 24 hours. We'll preview what's ahead in that game and on Fox 54 next in sports.
Fox 54 Sports is sponsored by Alpha Insurance.
A region championship is on the line. Good evening and welcome to sports. Our first down Friday night game of the week features an undefeated 6A Region 7 battle as Muscle Shoals travels down to Marshall County to face Hartselle. These two teams have been on a collision course all season. The Trojans have outscored their opponents by more than 240 total points, allowing more than 7 points in a game just one time. They are 7-0. Meanwhile, the Tigers have also been laying waste to most of their opponents this season and have an 8-0 record to show for it. This will be the 32nd all-time meeting between Hartselle and Muscle Shoals. The Tigers leading the all-time series with 17 wins, 13 losses, in a singular tie. The Trojans won the last 2 matchups, and they were really good ones. A double overtime thriller back in 2023 and a 1-point game last year in 2024. We'll have highlights from the 2025 edition and a post-game soundbite from the winning head coach tonight on First Down Friday night. Of course, that will not be the only game that we'll be locked in on tonight for the show. It's the final week of region play for most of the teams, and playoff spots and seedings very much on the line. First Down Friday night will air following Game 1 of the World Series right here on Fox 54. And speaking of the Fall Classic, the Fox Sports pregame show already underway right now, so make sure to hop back over to Fox 54 on TV after the conclusion of our newscast. First pitch between the Blue Jays and Dodgers, scheduled for 7 p.m. So lots to look forward to tonight on our channel. Hope you enjoy the World Series and join us for all the fun after the game. Jordan?
Have a good look at the next 7 days. Saturday looks fantastic, 74 degrees, a mix of sunshine and cloud cover. If you have any weekend plans, make sure to do those on Saturday, because as we head into your Sunday, we're going to begin to see rain develop across the Tennessee Valley. And then from there, when that rain moves in, it's going to stick with us through the rest of Sunday afternoon. And then even as we head into Sunday evening, just 62 degrees on Sunday, 63, 66 Monday, Tuesday. We hold on to the rain across the Tennessee Valley. Check this out. Backing off into the upper 50s Wednesday and Thursday, 59, 58, 64 next Friday, or Halloween.
And before we let you go, Christmas Island in Australia is crawling, as you can see, with crabs. Every year, millions of red crabs come out of the forest after the first rainfall of the wet season. Then they make their way to the ocean to mate and spawn when the tide recedes during the last quarter of the moon. How fast they walk depends on how long they have between those two events. That's quite a spectacle. It's a lot of crabs.
Yeah, that is a lot of crabs. And it sounds like there's going to be even more crabs, because it sounds like it's just one big mating get-together ritual for them. And it's funny, did you say it was Christmas Island or something like that?
Yes, I did.
I thought that this was going to be a classic, like, local news last story where it's like about, oh, you can see Santa Claus and they have fake snow. No, it's about crabs.
Yeah, I always get tricked by that. And there's nothing about Christmas regarding that. Like, nothing.
They weren't even snow crabs.
Ooh.
You like that one?
That was cute.
Good.
I like that.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome, Nick. Anyway, thanks